Well, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again. I'm going to give you guys a live stream going over the potential seeing severe weather as we get towards later on this evening and into tonight. And then obviously the big day, the big dance, the potential seeing significant severe weather as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening here. So I'm going to go over timing. I'm going to go over model guidance. I'm going to go over the questions as well. Also, I'm going to stress this right now while I have everybody here. I am getting over a cold. So my voice is going to be in and out. That's the reason why it's kind of low pitched right now. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm feeling perfectly fine. Don't worry. I'll be ready to go for tomorrow. But however, I just want to kind of stress that just in case you're kind of wondering, can he talk louder? Can he talk louder? I'm still getting over a cold right now. So we're going to talk about this first. This is for today's risk. And then I'm going to talk about Friday's risk. And also one more thing. I do realize we have an awesome game coming up with UConn coming up at 6:15 this evening, and a lot of people are going to be watching the game and stuff like that. This live stream will be pinned on the top of the page, and also it will be on YouTube, so you're not going to miss any coverage or anything like that. If I don't go over your question, then you can inbox us, you can send us a message for your Discord or something like that, and then we'll get back to you, okay? So don't worry about not missing any information or anything like that. I promise you're going to be just fine. We're going to have all the information on the page. It's going to be pinned on the top of the page, so you may have to manually come in and see that information. But I kind of want to throw that out. I wanted to do the live stream a little early today instead of later on this evening here, because I know a lot of people are going to be tuning in to that. So let's talk about today's risk here. Here's the current timing, and this is kind of staying from this morning. If you've been watching us throughout the day today, we have this area up there in northwestern Arkansas that we're going to be watching for the potential seeing some isolated severe weather, mainly for the potential of large hail and damaging winds. May be able to sneak a tornado threat up there. Granted that you have southwest winds, it's going to be very difficult to get a tornado threat up there in northwestern Arkansas. However, if a tornado warning does get issued, we will be here, we will be live, so you don't have to worry about that. And then further to the south and east, from Walnut Ridge to Little Rock over to Mena, it is very, very questionable on what's going to happen with this. And model guidance, and I'm going to show you this here a little bit later on in this live stream. It's been kind of difficult to kind of pinpoint timing further to the south and east here, because guidance is wanting to kill the storms coming out of northwestern Arkansas and leave some sort of boundary in place for tomorrow's threat here. So something that we're going to watch very, very closely as we get towards this time frame late tonight and early part of your Friday morning. But I will stress something right now. During the overnight hours, these thunderstorms are going to be extremely loud. They're going to be very, very loud. They're going to sound like they're severe. Unless there's a warning for it or we're live, we promise you they're not going to be severe. But I just want to kind of keep you guys aware that may be the potential as we get towards the overnight hours here. And we'll have information on that coming up in the model guidance segment here shortly here, okay? So let's talk about this. Now, this is going to be your severe weather threat for tomorrow here. And I'm going to start off with the tornado threat, because I think the tornado threat tomorrow needs to be talked about. It's priority number one, and it could be a very, very dangerous day coming our way, especially for our folks in central, southern, and in eastern Arkansas here. However, I want to stress them to you guys, and you're going to see this at the bottom of your screen in the scrolling area. Make sure that you are staying aware, even if you're in the very low risk areas. I'm talking to folks in Mena, I'm talking to folks in Waldron, I'm talking to folks in Mount Home that are in the very low risk areas and that are seeing the moderate risk in eastern Arkansas and thinking, oh hey, I'm in a moderate risk, nothing's going to happen. That's not the case at all. I want to stress that right now. You've got to stay weather aware. Ask the questions today and tonight and tomorrow morning, because once we get to tomorrow evening, we have tornado warning coverage. We are not going to be answering questions during on-air coverage. We are not going to do it. That's too big of a risk for the folks that need the information during tornado warning coverage. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, contact us today. Talk to us today. Talk to us tonight. Talk to us first thing tomorrow morning. Don't wait until a tornado warning is issued to start asking specific questions about cities and counties. Don't do it, because it's not going to get answered. I promise you. So keep this in mind, especially for my folks over here in western Arkansas. Now, from Little Rock to Arkadelphia to Arkadelphia, Magnolia, East. those areas that are in the orange and the red area. What I want you to do tonight, and I understand you got a very important basketball game coming up at 6:15. I love the Hogs. I love them to death. Love that team. However, you have significant severe weather coming up tomorrow. So what I want you to do is make sure you have a game plan ready to go. Have that tornado safe place ready to go. Have that game plan ready to go. This is going to be occurring during rush hour, during the evening hours, during the early evening and the mid-evening hours. And I'm going to show you timing coming up here in just a little bit. But I want you to be extra cautious tomorrow, especially my folks over there from Central Arkansas and the Eastern Arkansas. I'm talking from Conway, the Mayflower area, the Valonia area, the Little Rock, to Memphis, to Jonesboro, Blytheville, Walnut Ridge, down to Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, El Dorado, Crosset, Lake Village, those areas in southeastern Arkansas that's been battered by severe weather. I want you guys to have a game plan ready to go. I don't want anybody being risk biased tomorrow. You've got to have a game plan ready to go, folks. I'm stressing that right now. But as you know, you can look at the top left corner of the screen. We will be in severe weather alert day starting at midnight tonight. So keep that in mind across the board. The marginal slight risk and the enhanced risk areas are just as important as well. So keep that in mind going forward. Now, not only are we going to be talking about the tornado threat, but also the wind threat, the significant wind threat as well. Now, I want to stress something too. The only reason why you have a moderate right now, and I talked about the tornado threat first, is because it's priority number one. The moderate risk is there across southeastern Arkansas. That red zone is because of tornadoes. It's not a wind-driven. It's not hail-driven. It is strictly tornadoes. And you're talking about the potential of strong tornadoes, EF2+ or higher. So keep that in mind as we get towards tomorrow. Not only that, but you will have to watch out for the significant wind damage as well. That's going to be from our folks in Central Arkansas, in the Eastern Arkansas, and in Northeastern Arkansas, from Walnut Ridge, to Blytheville, to Jonesboro, to Little Rock, down to Monticello, and over to Memphis. And that area that you see hatched is going to be the potential of seeing 75-mile-per-hour winds or greater, which will put you at about a Category 1 hurricane. So it's kind of hurricane force winds, if you want to think of it like that. Southern Arkansas, the areas that are not in hatch, you still will see the potential of wind damage down there. And I want to stress something too, because I'm making this perfectly clear to everybody right now. The very low and the low risk areas, I hate, and if you know me personally, I hate putting labels on stuff. I hate it. However, the very low and the low risk areas, don't drop your guard. Don't pay attention to just the red area and say, hey, I'm out of it, nothing's going to happen. I may sound like a broken record talking about it, but I want to drive into everybody's head, because tomorrow we're not going to be able to answer the questions, especially during tornado warning coverage. I will be here first thing tomorrow morning. We'll have all the information for you guys. However, the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys right now is if you're in that very low and that low risk areas, you've got to have a game plan ready to go. Unless you are in northwestern Arkansas and you don't have a risk at all, you need to have a game plan ready to go for tomorrow here. So that's going to be the wind threat. And then obviously the large hail threat is there. It is a low right now. I do believe you may see some sort of hatched get issued, especially across eastern and southeastern Arkansas. You may see some instances of very large hail down there in southeastern Arkansas as we get towards tomorrow afternoon and then tomorrow evening here. Okay, so let's talk about timing. And right now it stands as a first look severe thunderstorm timing for tomorrow. Obviously, this evening we're going to get more data in. We're going to talk about everything tonight and stuff like that with our team. And then we're going to have an updated timing map for you guys first thing tomorrow morning. But I want you guys to settle with this timing because I think it's going to do pretty good. Western Arkansas, we're going to start the ball off about 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. From Fayetteville to Fort Smith to Waldron to Mena, over to Mount Ida, down to Texarkana. I want you guys to have that game plan ready to go by 2 p.m. tomorrow. And I do realize this is going to be during school hours. This is going to be during a lot of activities that are going to be going on, especially during the early and the mid-afternoon hours. So keep that in mind. We will be here. We will keep you guys updated. There's no reason for keeping your kids at home and stuff like that if you're in Western Arkansas. However, monitor the situation very closely if you're in those areas. Central Arkansas, we're going to start you off about 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Now, I do realize you are going to have thunderstorms first thing tomorrow morning. I want to make this clear to you guys. And I'm being a little blunt right now because I'm trying to drive this to everybody to make sure that everybody has a game plan for tomorrow. Do not come to me first thing tomorrow morning and say that the risk is over. You are going to have thunderstorms first thing tomorrow morning. It is not going to kill your severe thunderstorm threat. I guarantee it. It's not going to do it. It's going to be tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. You're going to have these thunderstorms first thing tomorrow morning, about 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's going to be out of the area about 9, 10 o'clock. It's going to leave a boundary in place. That boundary, I'm going to show you model data here in just a little bit. It's going to play a very critical role in our severe threat for tomorrow. However, it is not going to kill your severe weather threat. So if you see thunderstorms first thing tomorrow morning, don't drop your guard. I'm telling you right now, do not drop your guard. You will experience severe weather tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and then tomorrow night. So right now, I've got 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. from Harrison to Little Rock to Arkadelphia to El Dorado, Camden, Magnolia. Obviously, timing is going to get a little bit more specific once we get a better handle on data over the next couple of hours here, okay? And then for our folks in eastern Arkansas, from Batesville, from Batesville to Jonesboro to Memphis, down across it in Lake Village. Those areas, I've got you from 7 p.m. to as late as 2 o'clock in the morning going into Saturday morning. Like I said before, specific timing is going to get answered and once we get a little bit better data in over the next couple of hours and stuff like that. And then obviously you guys will have a timing map first thing tomorrow morning. But 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday morning will be a pretty good timing area. Not 2 a.m., 12 a.m. I thought I had you at 2. I think 2 o'clock will probably be the updated timing map here, but 12 o'clock right now it kind of stands for eastern Arkansas here. So from 7 p.m. to midnight Friday night into Saturday morning across eastern Arkansas here, from Jonesboro to Memphis, down across it and into Lake Village area here. So just kind of keep that in mind across the area here. Now what I'm going to do for just a second here, I'm going to switch this over and we are going to talk some questions here, okay? So I appreciate y'all's coverage. I'm a delivery driver that lives in Heber Springs, and we'll be on the road from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So like I said before, during the morning hours, you will experience some thunderstorms across the area. We may actually have a few severe thunderstorm warnings first thing tomorrow morning. However, I think the bigger threat's going to be after 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, starting in western Arkansas and then making its way eastern here. So, concerned about Texarkana. Texarkana is going to be on the map. And like I mentioned before, this is going to be something that you're going to have to meet us halfway. All the cities, all the counties, everything's on these graphics. So you got to pay attention over the next couple of hours here, guys. Over the next 12 over the next 12 to 24 hours is really going to be the crucial point for seeing severe weather here, okay? But for Texarkana, I do believe you're in that very low risk area. Like I mentioned before, I hate putting labels on stuff. You're gonna have to watch for that severe weather threat for tomorrow. You're going to have that severe weather potential across the majority of the area. Don't pay attention to just the moderate risk over there in eastern Arkansas. You gotta have a game plan in place as we get towards tomorrow here, okay? So let me see here. Love this comment. It shows you you're in a low, but low can turn ugly real quick. Please be safe tomorrow. I love that comment as well. Now, when do I expect National Weather Service start issuing tornado watches and stuff like that? Obviously, that's something that we won't have an answer to until tomorrow. Up there in northwestern Arkansas, you may have a severe thunderstorm watch or something that may go up later this afternoon and into this evening. However, I do believe that you'll have to watch for tomorrow, but we'll have those answers for tomorrow here, okay? So let me see here. Yeah, I'm so over Arkansas. I'm just going to be taking a nap in the storm shelter. Hey, there you go. That's a good idea. Take a nap in the storm shelter. At least you're already there. So give me 1 second here. I'm going over everything right now. So I don't see a legend for the yellow. What are you referring to? I don't know if you're referring to the wind or the tornado threat. I think the tornado, there's the legend for the yellow for the tornado threat. It is low. Like I mentioned before, I hate putting labels on stuff. Very low risk areas doesn't mean squat when you're talking severe weather. Storms are colorblind. They don't care about moderate risk or general thunderstorm threat. They care about the threat they care about the environment. They care about what's favorable for severe weather here. So as long as you're in that very low risk area, you still have the potential of seeing severe weather across the board. April, I love this time of the year too. I have a cold because of all the allergies and stuff. So I hate this time of year as well. Like I mentioned before, there is sound. You may have to come out of the live stream and then come back in. There is sound playing. I'm not seeing any widespread issues regarding the sound here. Okay, so let me see here. Thank you for the coverage. Like I mentioned before, thank you all for being here. I know it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of people are still at work. Got school and everything like that. This is going to be posted later on this evening and into the night, so you don't have to worry about missing anything at this time here. Amanda, I love that comment. If you're in the yellow or the green risk areas, do not let your guard down. That's the number one thing right now. Don't let your guard down just because you're in the green and the yellow area here. Don't be risk biased. Gotta have that game plan ready to go as we get towards tomorrow here. Excuse me. So, let me see here. Ashley, yeah, I'm getting over a cold. That's the reason why I haven't been doing a lot of live streams this week. It's because I've been dealing with that, but I'm doing fine. I'll be okay. So let me see here. Let me go over everything real quick. So, good question. So, was considering driving from Sherman, Texas tomorrow morning. Where are you going? Where's your location? Where's your destination from Sherman, Texas? Driving to Sherman, Texas. Where are you going to Sherman, Texas from? Are you traveling from Western Arkansas or Central or Eastern Arkansas? It's questionable right now. I do believe the bigger threat will be east of that area. So once you get down there, you should be good. However, something I would keep an eye on is first thing tomorrow morning. You may experience some severe weather first thing tomorrow morning here. Okay, so Dylan, I'm gonna take a look at that here just a little bit as well here. So yeah, Brandon, yeah, that's that's the thing with this here. So I'll be fine come tomorrow. I promise you, I sounded worse over the last couple of days. It's the best I've sounded in the last 2 to 3 days here. So give me 1 second here. Let me see here. Dylan, yeah, so okay. So thank you for that. So most of Central Arkansas will be on spring break, so we don't have to worry about school now. So we just be talking about people that are going to be at work and stuff like that here. So I forgot this is spring break week for most areas here. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for this as well. Thank you all for tuning in at this point here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go straight over to Mulligan's here. And by the way, I found out an interesting feature. Right above my head is the timing. So now you don't have to worry about trying to figure out what this timing is. You can actually pay attention to the above my head, and it tells you the timing here. So this is the latest HR, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start you all guys off with the dew points. And give me 1 second. I just realized what happened with that here. So give me 1 second. Let me get this up. There we go. All right. So this is the latest HR, and you're taking a look at the dew points at this point. And what I'm going to say is first thing tomorrow morning, there's your boundary basically going from the Queen to just west of Little Rock to Jonesboro. So you will have some thunderstorm action first thing tomorrow morning. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We may see some severe weather first thing tomorrow morning across the area. Now, beyond that point, it is going to get cooler across north central and central Arkansas. Let me repeat this. Don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. Don't drop your guard. That's the biggest thing I'm stressing you guys right now here. Now, what's going to happen as we get later into the afternoon, that boundary begins to come back to the north across the area here. So that brings that moisture back into these areas. And you can see across central Arkansas, southern Arkansas, southeastern Arkansas, from Memphis to Little Rock, over to Texarkana, over to El Dorado, over to Lake Village. Those areas are going to be the primary concern of seeing severe weather as we get towards tomorrow. And you can see, just based off dew points, there's where your supercell development is across eastern Arkansas, across southeastern Arkansas, across southern Arkansas. That's something that we're going to have to watch as we get towards today and tomorrow here. Now, let's go over to the reflectivity, and let's go back and take a look at this. Okay, so this is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's above my head. You can take a look at the timing. Basically, from Russellville to Mena, over to Mount Home. This area here is where you're going to have to watch for the potential of seeing severe weather across the area. That's something that we're going to have to watch very, very closely here. Now, I do realize something. We do have a new mesoscale discussion out for northwestern Arkansas here. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch that's going to come for much of northwestern Arkansas coming up within the next hour or so. So something that we're going to have to watch very, very, very closely here at this time here. So up there in northwestern Arkansas, mainly a large hail and a wind threat. We will have to watch for that isolated tornado threat here. However, I do believe your biggest threat is going to be large hail and damaging winds, and I'll get more into that here in just a little bit. So this is tomorrow around 8 a.m., and you're going to see this. A line of thunderstorms from DeQueen to Hot Springs to Little Rock over to Jonesboro. Like I mentioned before, do not let your guard down tomorrow. First thing tomorrow morning, it's going to be stormy across much of the area. Do not let your guard down across the area for tomorrow. And now look what happens. There's your boundary that gets stalled out across just south of Little Rock from DeQueen over here towards the Arkadelphia area, over towards Stuttgart, over to Memphis. Like I mentioned before, it's going to be stormy tomorrow morning. It's going to be raining tomorrow morning. Don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. You don't have to have sunshine all the time to see severe weather. You can get severe weather even with thunderstorm activity first thing that tomorrow morning here. Now, you take this out. You can see this is about 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And you can see over there in western Arkansas, there's the beginning of your severe weather threat. It's going to start gradually increasing throughout the evening hours here. So this is 3 p.m. now from Little Rock to Mount Home down to southwestern Arkansas. That's going to be the area of concern at this point. Now, you take this out. This is 4 p.m. This is just north of Little Rock, north towards the Batesville area. This area in particular, you're going to have to watch what we call a QLCS threat. Basically, that is the brief spin-ups along the line. That's where you're going to have that tornado threat as we get towards tomorrow afternoon here. Now, let's take this out, and you can see up here towards the Jonesboro area, that's 5 p.m. You're going to have to watch northeastern Arkansas. You're going to have to watch central Arkansas. These little notches in the line is where you're going to have to watch for that tornado threat as we get towards the day tomorrow here. Now, let's take this out. This is 6 p.m. now, and you got a line of storms basically stretching from El Dorado to Little Rock up into the Jonesboro area here. This is marching east into eastern Arkansas. Every single one of these storms are going to have to be watched for the tornado threat here. That's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on as we get towards later on tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. This is 7 p.m. now from El Dorado to Pine Bluff to Stuttgart to the Jonesboro area once again. That's where you're going to have to watch for that tornado threat, the strong wind threat, the significant wind threat, and also the hail threat as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, let's take this out. This is about 8 p.m. We're talking basically along eastern Arkansas, all of eastern Arkansas, basically from, I say, the Piggott area all the way down to Lake Village. That's going to be your timing around 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow evening if you were to go with DHR. And then you can see there's your line of storms crossing over the Mississippi River by the time we get towards 9, 10 o'clock here. So we should be wrapping this up by 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow evening across the area here. And then this should be the end of your severe weather threat here. We will have to watch out for some additional development behind the line, mainly a hail and wind threat, and that should end the story for that here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and I'm going to show you guys what's going on up here in northwestern Arkansas. So this is around 4 p.m. this afternoon. Mainly a hail and wind threat. I'm not really expecting a tornado threat up here in northwestern Arkansas. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. And it's not saying that we're not going to have anything ready to go in terms of any potential tornado warnings. However, I do believe this is going to be mainly a hail and wind threat up here in northwestern Arkansas. And you can see this is about 6 p.m. So basically the Fayetteville area over towards Siloam Springs, down in Oklahoma, and into southwestern and south central Missouri. That's where your hail and wind threat is going to be maximized throughout this evening. So we're going to keep an eye on that up there in northwestern Arkansas here. And then you can see the majority of this starts to lift to the north because your ridging is beginning to come in. Your nocturnal version's coming in. So it's lifting this to the north. So most of the area should be done theoretically about 10 p.m. You may get a break. And then what ends up happening is your boundary begins to sag southward during the overnight hours. So that's going to push it into northwestern and into western Arkansas. Now, I will say this. If this doesn't happen and you don't see any morning development, we may be talking a different situation here. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is we're going to go over to the high-risk dam for just a second. And you can see there's the 18Z. Let's go over to the 12Z. And you can see what it does. Okay, there's your line of storms coming through. Notice something. Tomorrow morning, there's not much going on if you go with the high-risk dam. Meanwhile, with the HR, you have a line of storms moving through across the area. So which model data is going to win out? Which one's going to win the ball game with this is going to be the question. Regardless of what happens, you can see by the time we get towards 6 p.m., it starts to take off across the state, especially from central to southern and into eastern Arkansas. Make sure you have a game plan ready to go as we get towards the tomorrow afternoon and the tomorrow evening time frame here. Okay, so Elizabeth, like I mentioned before, all the cities and all the counties are on our graphics. I promise you guys, we made it super easy, super user friendly, so everything is labeled so you'd be able to see what's going on. Let me take you back into the graphics real quick, and I can show you to answer your specific question. You have a medium threat for tornadoes up there in Batesville. You have the threat for seeing significant damage winds as well. Like I mentioned before, all the cities and stuff is going to be on the graphics, guys. You gotta pay attention to the graphics because all your information is gonna be on there. You can't focus on that red area. You can't focus on the orange area. You got to pay attention to every part of this graphic because every piece of information is gonna be on these graphics here. But to answer your specific question, you are in a medium threat for seeing tornadoes as we get towards tomorrow, along with the significant wind damage as well. So give me 1 second here. We'll go over everything right now. Let me see here. Okay, so I see that one comment on YouTube about us not being here with the last storm. We had a 19-hour coverage on YouTube. I can go and pull that up, by the way. So we have continuous coverage. We will be here with every single storm. If you don't like our coverage, that's perfectly fine. But the thing is, we're going to be here and we're going to keep you guys updated with that here. So let me see here. Let me go over all the questions at this time. I'm going to go over everything. Let me see here. Going over We'll go over everything real quickly here. So just going over the questions here. Okay, so what are the chances that this gets upgraded? This is the biggest thing that's been talked about on Twitter is what's the biggest, is this going to go high risk or anything like that? You want my honest opinion? I think this is a really good moderate. There's a lot of questions in terms of storm mode. Are you going to see supercells that are going to actually go up and are actually going to be able to sustain themselves and stuff like that? I think this is a really good moderate. I don't think this needs to go high risk. Obviously, we still have 12 more hours of data that needs to come in, and if we see something trending one way or the other, then we'll start talking. But I think this is a really solid, moderate risk across the area here. So just kind of keep that in mind at this point. So let me see here. Just going everything right now. So question, that's a good question, Christopher. How high are the winds going to be on Friday? Basically, with these thunderstorms, you're going to be talking about 60 to 75 mile per hour winds or greater, especially across eastern Arkansas. Non-thunderstorm winds will probably be about 20 to 30 miles per hour, maybe some locally higher gusts as that southerly flow really begins to come into the state here. So that's a really good question, Christopher, across the area here. So let me see here, going over everything right now. So let me see, Mindy, I love your comment as well. And like I mentioned before, not everybody's going to like our coverage. Not everybody's going to want to, tune in and stuff like that. And that's perfectly fine. That's working in the public for you. So that's the biggest thing. I got moderators in here. Keep your comments respectable. I don't mind creative criticism. We're always upgrading our stuff. But keep it respectful in the comments, folks. That's my only warning that I'm going to say to you guys right now. So let me see here. Let me go over everything right now. Double checking everything right now in terms of that. So I will be driving from Cabot to South Haven, Mississippi tomorrow around noon to 12:30. I should be ahead of it. So you're going to have thunderstorms that's going to move through central Arkansas first thing tomorrow morning. Where does it go? How far south does it go? Does it even happen is the question. Right now, I say by noon, you should theoretically be okay. You should theoretically be fine across central Arkansas by that point. However, I will say that if you're driving from Cabot to South Haven, Mississippi, throughout that time period, you should be okay in southeastern Arkansas. It's going to be the after 4 p.m. time frame in southeastern Arkansas is where you're going to have to watch for the time frame across the area here. So let me see here, just going everything right now here. Okay, so let me see here. That's a good question. Could this go possible to ratio? That is a really good question because of the fact that you do have a significant tornado threat and a significant wind threat. I think you're going to get a mix of both. So I'm going to say no to your comment right now. However, we will have to watch out, because what's going to happen is these storms are going to go what we call upscale really quick, and it's going to turn linear. Basically, what that means is it's going to become a big squall line. We'll see. I think right now the tornado threat stands much higher than the wind threat because of the fact that you have to watch out for those supercells. Hence the reason why you haven't gotten a high risk, by the way, because there's so much uncertainty with storm mode. However, something that we will continue to monitor very closely here. But I do love your comment, Finn. That is something that we're going to watch here. Now, I addressed this earlier before the live stream about the moderate risk. Yes, there is the potential that it could make it here in the central Arkansas. We'll see. Right now, it just depends on what happened with the morning. What's going to happen with the morning convention? Are you going to be washed out here in central Arkansas and stuff like that? A lot of questions with that right now. But I'm going to stress to you guys right now, don't bank on that moderate risk coming up here. Have a game plan ready to go, because central Arkansas is in the enhanced risk now. Remember, the enhanced risk was in southeastern Arkansas a day ago. Now it's up here in central Arkansas. So we will see if it continues to push to the north and west. We'll tweet that as we go over the next day or so. But we'll see what ends up happening with that here. Okay, so will these be fast moving storms? Yes, 50 to 60 mile per hour movers tomorrow. Your storm motions are going to be ridiculously fast. That's why I'm stressing you guys right now. Even if you're in the very low risk areas, make sure you have a game plan ready to go, because these storms are not going to be moving 20 to 30 miles per hour. They're going to be moving 50 to 60 miles per hour. They're going to be quick moving. So your reaction needs to be just as quick as the storm. So keep that in mind. That's a really good question, Allison, across the air here. So let me see here. Finn, I saw your comment as well. I'm going to say no, but we'll address that once we get past this event, just in case something like that does happen. And thank you guys. There's a lot of hard work that goes in this channel. There's a lot of hard work that goes into these graphics and the live streams and all the other good stuff here. So we're obviously not going to make every single person happy. That's fine. But thank you for that comment. It really does mean a lot across the air here. So let me see here. I think that is really it in terms of the question. And granted, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, 3 now. And a lot of people are still at work and stuff like that. So this is going to get pinned on the page. And if you have any questions, feel free to come at us about it. So let me see here. Let me go over everything at this current time here. So let me go over everything right now. My kids are buying stars. Remind me to log out of Facebook on my computer. That is funny. Let me double check everything right now. So I think that is it in terms of all the questions right now. I'm gonna double check and make sure I haven't missed anything at this point. Let me double check and make sure. Let me see here. I think that is it. Let me see here. Going over everything right now. I'm not seeing any sort of updates or anything like that. Just double checking our radar. Looks like we're good. All right. So we're gonna have to watch the storms coming out of Oklahoma right now. That's gonna move into northwestern Arkansas as we get towards later on this afternoon and this evening. I'm gonna go back over to our timing map for today here. So that's gonna be your timing map for today. Across the board from northwestern Arkansas, this is going to be starting around that 4 or 5 o'clock time frame, and then central Arkansas, and this is a very big question. I should have put a question mark on this. Do the storms make it into central Arkansas? That's the number one thing. Do they make it here? If they don't, we could potentially be talking about a much bigger day tomorrow. If they do, it's not the end. It's not going to be the end of your severe weather threat, but it will help to an extent. So we will see what ends up happening. Stacy, I was hoping you get me able to comment on us. Favorite follower from northeastern Texas. Luckily for you, this is going to stay to your east this time around. But watch for a few storms down there in northwestern Arkansas, northeastern Texas. So let me see here. So we are thinking maybe strong tornadoes or just to spin up once. It's going to be a combination of both. You're going to have a supercell threat. That's going to produce the strong tornado threat, and then you're going to have those little mini spin-ups along the line that you're going to have to watch, especially in that low-risk area over there in western Arkansas and north Arkansas. So something that we're going to continue to monitor very, very, very closely here, okay? So I think that is it across the end here. Thank you so much for that comment as well, Let me see here. I think that is it in terms of everything right now. Brenda, I love your comment. That's what we're here for. A lot of people will nationalize this, talk about the state and stuff like that, but they don't do what we do. We talk about the local areas. We're talking about the small town Arkansas that doesn't get all the attention from the media. That's what we do here at Arkansas Weather Watchers. So thank you so much for that comment, Brenda. Storms may stay in Jonesboro from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that'll be your best case scenario up there in northeastern Arkansas is you get thunderstorm development all day and you never get unstable. I've seen that happen before too up there in northeastern Arkansas, which will unfortunately lead to a bigger flooding threat up there in northeastern Arkansas. However, we'll keep an eye on that at this current time here. So let me see here. Let me go over everything right now here. So yeah, so thank you for tuning in, stuff like that. JD, I'm going to answer your last question here, then I'm going to hop off here, guys. Take care of this voice problem so you guys get me at 100% for tomorrow here. Will there be an upgrade to a high risk tomorrow? I'm going to say 20% right now. If I was working with Storm Prediction Center, I wouldn't do it myself because there's so many questions regarding, are you going to see supercells? Are they going to produce violent tornadoes? You got to keep that in mind. They have to produce violent tornadoes. We're talking EF4 plus tornadoes. Are they going to be capable of that? Are they going to be long-lived as well, and are going to be long-tracked? Those are your questions to try to get a high risk out of this. And right now, it's very, very uncertain to get that. I do think you will have the strong tornado potential tomorrow, and I do believe the moderate risk and stuff like that is perfect. But to get a high risk, you need another level to what we're getting right now. You need it to be another higher level than what you're getting right now to get that high risk across the area. So we'll see what ends up happening with that at this current time here. Get you some hot tea. That's exactly what I'm going to go do at this point. And I think that is it for the ones that are jumping in. Can you go over a fast recap of everything for tomorrow? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I could do that. Sorry, I was reading another comment while I was reading yours. So, yes, sir. I could take care of that right now here. So, this is for today. You have northwestern Arkansas, 5 p.m. this afternoon to 3 a.m. tonight, and then 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. for west central and central Arkansas. Big question mark on if you get this to develop in central Arkansas. I'll be real curious to see what ends up happening with this. Now, let's take this out a little bit further. By the way, I just realized the timing thing was something on my head. So, there's your time. Your tornado threat for tomorrow. Northwestern Arkansas, you have no tornado threat because you're going to have these thunderstorms tonight. So, you're going to be good up there in northwestern Arkansas for tomorrow. But you have a very low risk area from the Queen to Mena to Waldron over to Mountain Home. You have a low risk area from Texarkana, Hope, Daisy, which is much of Pike County, by the way. Hot Springs, I would say Conway is like right there on that line. The Mountain View area as well. And then also the medium risk area, the medium threat for seeing tornadoes. The moment you cross over to that medium threat, you have the potential of seeing significant tornadoes. We're talking EF2 plus tornado potential in this orange and red zone. That's from Walnut Ridge, Jonesboro, Blytheville, Batesville, Searcy. I'm going to go ahead and include Conway in this because I think you are right there in it. It's just the line cuts off right there. So I'm going to go ahead and include Conway in this. The Metro, Camden, Magnolia, and El Dorado. And then obviously the high-risk zone, the tornado high-risk zone down there in southeastern Arkansas from Stuttgart to Helena to Pine Bluff, Monticello, Lake Village, El Dorado, and across the area. That red zone down there is the highest threat for seeing significant tornadoes. Everywhere else, you do have that tornado risk as we get towards tomorrow here. Now, there's going to be your wind threat as well. Significant wind could be possible from Little Rock to Memphis to Pine Bluff, Monticello, Jonesboro, and the Blytheville area. And then the low-risk areas from Texarkana to Hope, to Queen, over to Russellville, the Clinton area, the Mountain View area, etc. Northwestern Arkansas, you're in a very low-risk area up there from Fort Smith to Harrison. That's going to be because of tonight, first part of tomorrow morning at this point. And then obviously your hail threat, low right now. I think Little Rock, El Dorado, points east, you'll probably be upgraded to a quote-unquote high risk for large hail as we get towards tomorrow. And then there's your overall timing. 2 p.m. for western Arkansas to 5, 4 to 8 for much of West Central, Central, and the southern and southwestern Arkansas, excuse me, and then southeastern, eastern, and northeastern Arkansas from 7 p.m. to midnight tomorrow night and early part of your Saturday morning at this current time here. Okay, so yep, I'm gonna go take care of that after this live stream. I think that is it, guys. Yes, Little Rock does fall in the medium risk area at this current time. And remember, graphics are gonna be on the page. Inbox those questions. Live stream is gonna be pinned on the page as well. So if you miss anything, rewind it, watch it. If you're still confused, send us a message and stuff like that, and we will be here at this current point. One last question. You're gonna be good to go. You're gonna be good to go for that event on Saturday across the area here. So that's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna go take care of this voice problem so you guys can have me at 100% for tomorrow. We'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.